Hey guys, Sableye here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a early Series 13 team that I have had very decent success with in some online ladder tours, as it is one of the only ways to really play the format. So, to start things off, I have finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th with variations of this team. Of course, I am going to give you guys the best variation, or the one that I've been using most recently, as I do feel it is the most appropriate at the time. Of course, I am going to give this a very quick review, of course, because it is very early Series 13 format, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about things that are going to be completely different in 2-3 weeks time. But I did want to express share the team with you guys in case it was something you guys were interested in. Now, we're going to start off immediately. I'm going to quickly go back here and we're going to see kind of the evolution of the team. So it kind of started as I grabbed 6 mods from my box and I said, okay, what's going to be good? Right, Tailwind plus some massive Pokemon damage dealers are going to be amazing. So Kyogre, Zacian, Whimsicott, that was given to me. From day one, I said, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to click damage. Right, I then said, you know what, Yveltal. Yveltal is going to slow the game down for me a little bit. Now that I don't need to have a super offensive piece anymore, right? Because before, like with the restricted in like Series 12, you only had 2 restricted slots, right? But now that things are opened up, support of Yveltal is becoming a very viable piece. Obviously, AV Yveltal still good in Series 12, right? But that was kind of the glue I held this together with. And I said I need something to stop Trick Room. I went with literally the G-Max Melmetal I had in my box, guys. It was literally nothing. I threw the vitamins on it and I said, hey, sure, why not? The moveset's questionable. Don't look at that. We'll get to that later. And then I threw a Regieleki on just for safekeeping. I didn't have a sash because the Whimsicott was currently mental herb. I said, sure, why not? A Lecky. Team did well. I think this is the one I got 4th or 5th with. I don't remember which one exactly. Team did well. I then switched over to an Incin variant. I dropped the Regieleki, put the Incin because Melmetal wasn't enough for Trick Room. So I'm like, okay, throw an Incin on here, right? Makes sense, right? Sure, why not? It worked okay. Didn't really do too crazy. And then I said, you know what? Forget about Incin. Incin doesn't really do me any favors here. Now let's go Amoonguss. And this is the final version of the team, guys. Kyogre, Yveltal, Zacian, Whimsicott, Melmetal, Amoonguss is indeed the final version. Nothing too crazy. If you guys do want the paste, it is going to be in the description down below. No rental code, just because I feel like things are going to change drastically before anybody's even going to be able to use the rental code, so it's not worth it. But paste is in the description if you guys want to test out the team on Showdown or something like that. But we start with Kyogre. Like I said, guys, Kyogre I had in my box from way back when. I didn't touch it. I would definitely go way more special attack. Keep max speed or drop it down to maybe 139. So something like you hit that, so you hit 139. Basically, all you really need to do here is outpace Aleki's. But for what it is, max speed. Like I said, just standard. Thunder over Ice Beam is so that you don't get stalled out by Volcanions. Other than that, I mean, it's nice to hit the opposing ogres as well with like nothing. Like honestly, guys, the thought process into some of these teams and some of these movesets is a lot of it. It was just what I had in my box, you know. Like it's not super well thought out, but it has seen some success for me, and I definitely think the core has a lot of potential. To nobody's surprise, right? Like Zacian, Kyogre, Whimsicott, Yveltal. Who would have thought that was good? Oh wait, almost everybody, right? Like, don't get me wrong, right? But like for right now, I figured I'd share it anyways. But like I said, Thunder so you don't get walled out by opposing Ogre, or Volcanion is the main one there. I'm not sure how common Volcanion is going to be, but I have played a few. Moving into the Zacian. Zacian, just your standard 3 attack, protect Zacian. Flare Up is vital in this format. I think with all the potential dragons coming into the format, like you've got your Yveltals, you've got your Zekroms now, which I think is still bad, but I do think it's going to see some extra usage because you don't need to take one of your restricted slots for it, which I think it makes it a little bit viable. I don't know how viable, but like I said, you don't need to waste a restricted slot on things anymore, so Play Rough makes a lot of sense. Right, moving on to the Whimsicott, because that was the next part of the team. I did switch over to Sash. It was Mental Herb on the original version, but Sash just makes a whole lot more sense because it lets me get Tailwind. If they match my Tailwind, I can then follow the next turn with a Cotton Spore, and my Kyogre or my Zacian can be faster than whatever they have beside their Whimsicott. I just think speed control is super important in this format. 90% of the time, whoever controls the speed better, as of what I've noticed right now, has been winning. Right, so the first tournament I played in, I've lost 3 games to Trick Room Whimsicott. I obviously have no way to know that, right? Especially in a best of 1. But like I said, he who controls the speed better has a better chance of winning the end game, especially because it's a format with such high power. right? If you're going to move first, you potentially have a chance to make them not move at all, right? So speed control is super, super vital in this format. But other than that, Helping Hand for extra damage, and just Moonblast for the single attack damage output. Yveltal, guys, honestly, amazing. Amazing piece. I am super, super impressed with AV Yveltal in this format. Nothing crazy on the spread. I believe this is Banfox's spread from his Groudon team. I just happen to have it in my from his Evildon team that I just happen to have in my box. So we went with that. Nothing too crazy. Your standard AV Yveltal. Snarl, O-Wing, Foul Play, Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch games in this format because sometimes you leave things on like 2 or 3 HP. Sucker Punch comes in, cleans up, and then Yveltal's safe, right? But other than that, honestly guys, just your standard AV Yveltal, really, really nice for stuff like if anybody's trying to get Trick Room up with Lunala, which has seen a little bit of usage, not as much as like you'd really think, but Lunala might come around. But mainly for the Calyrex Shadow that is literally everywhere right now, it's really, really nice having the AV Yveltal. Yveltal is also really nice into a lot of the mythicals, right? Because a lot of the mythicals, let's say like Victini, Jirachi, not that they're super, super common at the moment, but just having them and forcing them to be sad that they have the Psychic type attached to them, right? Even if you run into that one Mars Shadow you play, you know? It was nice having the Yveltal because it just sits there. It just doesn't die. It is such a good mon, especially when it can afford to be the full support mon that it wants to be. Zacian, I went over. Metal, don't use Metal. Just trust me. Delete the Metal from the builder. Delete the Metal from the builder and put literally anything else there. I think I've lost, I don't know, maybe 10 sets with this team on ladder tours, maybe 9, somewhere in there. I don't have the exact math, but I think 90% of the time that I brought Metal, I have lost. Yes, in theory, it counters Trick Room. But also, I now have an Amoonguss, and like, you just don't need Metal anymore, guys. You just don't need it. It wanted to be good. I still think it has potential, just not on this team. Okay, and if you're gonna use it, do not go G-Max. Go with the regular thing, so you get Steel Spike boost. Just ignore the Metal. It's bad. Move on to Amoonguss. Just ignore the Metal. I didn't put anything in for the Amoonguss, guys. It's your standard Amoonguss. I was running Citrus Berry. Nothing too crazy, obviously Regenerator. Just your standard Pollen Puffs. I don't know why I didn't put this in before, but like I said, just standard Amoonguss, and the only thing really that's needing to know here is the 27 speed with a Calm Nature, I believe. Yeah, and a max, I think it was 76. It was something like this. The exact one will be in the description down below, guys, and I believe I should be... Yeah, 48. Yeah, 27 speed right there. So, like I said, the speed here is just to make sure I'm underpacing the Calyrexes in the Trick Rooms that they do try to get up. Other than that, the bulk was just general bulk, and it's probably not even the right one that I'm showing on the screen. It's pretty close, but I don't know what the exact one is. But that's going to basically do it, guys. This is the concept of the team. Like I said, get rid of Melmetal. Whimsicott, Kyogre, Yveltal, Zacian, that's a busted core in my opinion. Those 4 are so solid because, like, if you want to go fast and you want to go burr, you have the Cott and the Ogre and the Zacian. You have the Yveltal to kind of be the glue of those 4 as well. You can switch into Quakes, you deal with Groudon, which is a little bit problematic for this team, so maybe if you're switching out Metal, that might be something you want to consider. But honestly, Cott, Ogre, Yveltal, Zacian, super solid as a core on their own. Amoonguss was here to patch the Trick Room. Melmetal was just bad. Like I said, just delete it from the team paste and find literally anything else. If you wanted to put a Caterpie there, you could probably still see some very similar results. I will say the one nice thing about having Melmetal was the fact that they were oftentimes scared to bring their Calyrex Ice. Right? Because seeing Zacian and Melmetal, nobody in their right mind wants to bring Calyrex Ice. Yeah, sometimes they bring it in anyways because they might find an opportunity and say, hey, why would he bring both? He might just bring the Melmetal, right? He might overcommit, right? Who knows? Right? Sometimes, I'm not saying they're never going to bring it, but seeing between Amoonguss, Melmetal, and Zacian, they really shouldn't be bringing Calyrex Ice. So that's the one thing I feel like Melmetal actually helped with, was more so just scaring off the Calyrex Ices than really actually dealing with them. But like I said, get rid of Melmetal. The team is really solid. Don't want to waste too much time on it because, like I said, it is super early format. But I did definitely want to share the team with you guys, let you guys kind of know what's going on. And yeah, that's basically going to do it, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. The team paste is in the description down below, as I have mentioned before. And with that, I will catch you guys in a future video.